Hey kiddos, this week what we're going to do, I actually feel that you guys are doing so good on text structure that we are ready to kind of start. We're still going to touch on text structure. We're not done with it, but we're just going to kind of push up the level a little bit. So this week we're going to be in a passage called Blood, Smoke, and Freedom. It is a Storyworks passage. And it's going to be about a boy living through the Revolutionary War. Now, remember, we just read that novel, What is the Declaration of Independence? And this week, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about all of the events that led to the Revolutionary War. And then we're going to actually do a research project over those events. So this passage kind of just ties all of that in really nicely. And so we're going to dig into that this week. But we're going to use our text structure skills, but we're also going to review all of our informational reading skills as we dig into this passage this week. Okay, so this is going to be our goal this week. And remember, we're not done with text structure. This is part of those reading skills that it says right here in our goal. Text structure is just one of those reading skills that we're going to be hitting on. Okay, it says I will be able to analyze an informational text and use my informational reading skills to answer critical thinking questions and justify with text evidence. Now, that's a big goal. We know analyze means to break it into parts and look at it closely. We know that an informational text is a text that is nonfiction. It is true. It's full of information. Our informational reading skills. I want you to take a second and think, what skills have I learned this year that can help me when I'm reading an informational passage? Okay. We know critical thinking is when it's not a right there question. We really have to dig for it. And then we know to justify means to prove it. And we know it's with when we say text evidence, we're talking about word for word evidence. Okay. So let's think about what our mini lesson is going to be over today. One of these reading skills that we are going to talk about is called context clues. What that means is I'm identifying the meaning of an unknown word. Okay. So these are going to be my steps. Step one, I'm going to read it. Step two, I'm going to identify the word I don't know, the unknown word. This week, all of our words are going to be in bold in the passage. Okay. So we're going to be able to find them. Identifying them just means locating them. Three, read a little bit above and a little bit below. Number four, highlight clues. And number five, think about what I know. I actually like to do this in a little chant. So that way, when you see highlighted words, or bolded words, or maybe just words you don't know, you automatically can think about it. So this is how it goes. It says, I'm going to read a little bit above and a little bit below, highlight clues, and think about what I know. Okay. And then after all of those things are put together, we're making an inference. Now, this is a skill we already have. We spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year on inferences. And so, what you're going to see is that when we have to guess at the meaning of a word, what we're really doing is making an inference using text clues, using our background knowledge, and putting it together to make an inference. So, I'm going to model for you. So, this is a line out of the passage that you're going to read today. Okay. And you can see that my bolded word here is wilderness. Okay. Now, I know that we probably know what a wilderness is. Okay. But I'm just using a word here to demonstrate these steps. Okay. So I'm going to read it first, identify my word, and then use my steps. Joseph was born in 1760 when the United States wasn't yet a country. Much of America was wilderness. Lined up along the East Coast was a strip of land owned by, it's going to say England. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to identify the unknown word, and now I'm ready for my chant. Read a little bit above and a little bit below, highlight clues, and think about what I know. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is I've got a date, 1760, okay? When the United States, it wasn't yet a country, okay? And we know that we're talking about a strip of land here. Those are all of my clues. Now I have to do that next part. I've read above it, I read below it, I've highlighted clues, and now I'm thinking about what I know. Well, I already know a lot about the word wilderness. I know it means like wild, like people aren't there. I know in 1760, this is my background knowledge. This is about where all of that knowledge, where we've talked about the colonies and what the new world looked like when our settlers first got there. And I know that when we're talking about how the United States wasn't a country yet, right? They were just colonies. I can use my background knowledge about these two things and how they were owned by a country called England. Using my background knowledge, I know that means that there was really nothing around but trees and plains and rivers and streams. There weren't cities or factories yet, right? The only group of people who lived here there were millions of them, but the Native Americans. And so I can make an inference here about the word wilderness. So watch how I fill out my graphic organizer. Okay, wilderness is my word. Based on the clues from the text, I think this word means land that was untouched by humans. My actual definition, this is what is when I look it up in a dictionary, says a wild and natural area in which few people live, such as a forest. Okay. So, what you guys are going to do this week is you're going to do the rest of the words in our passage. Let me actually pull up for you. Um, well, it was right there. Let me pull up for you what yours is going to look like because I had to make yours digital, so it's going to look a little bit different than what the on paper version is going to look like. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to, here's your word, wilderness. I've just done this one for you so you can plug it in. You're going to give me what you think the word means. You're going to give me the sentence where you found the word, and then you're going to think about the part of speech. So here we go. This is the definition. I said I thought that it was a piece of land untouched by humans. Okay. So now I need to give it to you in the sentence where I found it. Okay. It says, much of America was wilderness. Okay. So that's what I would write. Much of America was wilderness. Okay. Very good. Now I have to guess about my part of speech. This is actually what we call a noun, okay? Because it is a person, place, or thing. It is a thing. The wilderness is a thing, okay? It's a piece of land, okay? So this is how you're going to fill out your graphic organizer. You'll see that you have two slides here. Okay, these are all of the words that are going to be in bold on your passage. You're going to open up Blood, Smoke, and Freedom. The link is on your Google Classroom. You're going to read, and as you do, when you come to those words, you're going to follow those steps we just went over. Where I read, here they are. I'm going to read it, then I'm going to find that unknown word, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to read a little bit above, a little bit below, highlight clues, and think about what I know. Then I'm ready to make my inference, and I'll plug my inference in here, the evidence that helped me make my inference, and what part of speech I think it is. Okay? All right, kiddos, let me know if you need any help or have any questions. Good luck today.